Hello and welcome to the Jolamade blend with JP and friends. This is gonna be, I guess, a retake on the podcast I started back last winter, and that didn't go too well. That was a video form, and it was, I have to say, it was extremely awkward. I'm not really, I don't know, for whatever reason, I really was just extremely awkward in front of the camera, and I only filmed about maybe 3 weeks worth of podcasts there, and I don't know. It just I think that's why I stopped, just because I couldn't handle how awkward I was seeing myself on footage when I was editing the videos through Windows Media, the Movie Maker, whatever the hell that is, the cheap version that comes with Windows. Anyway, I figured I would try this again with an audio version only, since I'm actually going to be releasing another EP here on December 24th, Christmas Eve. This is called the 8 Trilogies EP number 2, or just episode 2, whatever. So I guess the main reason I started this again was pretty selfish. It was looking to do a little bit more marketing, I should say, on this EP. The first one, I'm always going to be proud of it, but I would never be able to. I don't think I'm ever going to play any of those songs live at this point, just because they're so chaotic and literally I didn't even decide to do vocals on it. I kept changing my mind whether I wanted to have vocals on it and just do an instrumental only album, EP, whatever. And finally, the last day, actually before I started mixing and mastering the album, is like, I was like, you know what, fuck this. I am gonna do vocals on it, and let's just see where this takes me. But the fact, I don't think I could ever replay the guitar parts and actually sing what I sung over top of that. Just, I don't know, it was a little chaotic there for that. In order for that to ever sound good, I think performing out live. Plus, with this album, I actually I have an acoustic electric that I'm performing on, and I don't know. I think it turned out really well. I must say, I must give myself a little pat on the back there. It was a Dean Babinga exotic wood acoustic electric that I picked up for about $250. Came with a really nice guitar case. I was looking online the day I got it. I was like, holy shit, these are going for like $1,000 brand new. I got it used, of course, but it plays great, looks great, and if I ever do decide to sell it one day, I think I'd get a pretty penny for it with what the value is going for right now. But I don't plan on ever doing that. Anyhow, I guess a little background on what I'm looking to, some of my goals here, I guess, for the podcast. Actually, you'll see online on Jolamade. First of all, I'm getting ahead of myself here. The website that I'm going to be posting and hosting this podcast on is jolamade.com, JOLAMADE.com, / whatever. Blend, just BLEND. The full name is, like I mentioned in the beginning, the Jolamade Blend with JP and Friends. I didn't want to just name it like Jolamade Podcast like I had it before. I felt that's kind of unoriginal, kind of lame to have for to have the word podcast in your podcast. I don't know. It'd be like if you're writing a book, having something, I don't know, like the book in your actual title of your book. That sounds pretty fucking stupid if you ask me. But anyhow, I take that back. I guess it depends on what you're doing. I mean, if it's a cookbook or something, you might want to keep that in the title. I don't know. But anyhow, it's Friday night. Not really doing a whole lot socially right now, as you'll see in the photo. My friends for this podcast are actually a couple stuffed animals that I had laying around. I thought would fill the photo a little bit more than just having me sitting there looking like a dumbass. So that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully I start getting getting some interest as I start to spread the word, the good word of my music, and start getting people interested in actually, seeing what this JP guy's all about. Seeing oh, he's got a lot of shit going on. Maybe we should start paying attention to him. Let's see. The main content source, I guess, I'm going to be utilizing for this podcast. I plan to continue this really for as long as my creative career goes with ADP, maybe even beyond that, just because, I don't know, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. They seem like good fun. Meet a lot of people, or a lot of interaction. I really enjoy doing that with SchoolEliteTalent.com, and I hope to get back into that with YourCityYourFun.com here shortly. That's another reason, actually, why I started this back up again. Is really I'm looking to start doing interviews and such again, which I did several, but I don't think any of them actually ever aired on the YouTube channel for Your City Your Fun. So hopefully in the good city of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, I get some good business going around here, and some interest to start doing some interviews as well. To add a little spiciness to this podcast here. Because right now, I'll be honest, I don't think anybody knows who the hell I am. I don't even think my family would give two shits about listening to this right at this particular moment with with what I've done in my career as far as my music and all that good stuff goes right now. But I've decided that I don't really care about that right now. That's not the goal. It's not my goal. It's not the goal of. I don't know. That's just not what I'm after. But I decided, like I was just rambling on about here, even if I was on a deserted island, I would still be I'd probably still be recording this, just because I'm that full of myself, I suppose. I'm that selfish of a person that I believe I'm that important, I guess, is what I'm going after, to still record this, even if I was living on a deserted island with no intent of ever having anyone listen. But enough about that. Hopefully, yeah, okay. Like I think what I started was saying, I don't think I actually concluded with what I was starting to say, was the main source of content for what the podcast was going to be, besides the interviews, on my website, jolamade.com. I'm going to be posting a couple posts throughout the week, really 5 days a week if I can, over my lunch period at this point, just about with my different projects, my different branches of my creative tree, if I may. Right now they're ADP, DPD, and Jolam, which only ADP is, I take that back, only ADP is my creative branch. I take this back again. Jolamade is the tree, is my, it's my fucking tree, okay? And the branches of this giant-ass tree that I'm going to be growing is, with one branch, it's going to be ADP. And underneath that is going to be ADP Records, ADP Comics. Let me just take that back. ADP One Man's Journey. That's going to be my music, my art, like with my illustrated novels, which I'll get into a little bit later on here, and visualization, which I hope to start doing eventually once I start actually performing live, doing different DVDs, maybe some sketch comedy perhaps with some show ideas I have with HMS and HCS. You want to take a guess what those stand for? Anyhow, they're on my website, I guess, what the full abbreviations are. And the DPD, that's actually, what the hell am I talking about? That's, yeah, DPD is going to be like the, it's actually LLC. It's a small business at this point. That's what Happy Music Store. Oh, I just gave them away. Whatever. Happy Music Store and Happy Comic Store. Those are two like sketch comedy and full show ideas I have at some point. Once, like I said, once I start getting some recognition, or just make friends that have money and have equipment to be able to film such a show as what I have planned for those. But anyhow, that's gonna be my whole business side, and that's actually gonna oversee anything that's driving in money from that standpoint. I plan to go branching off quite a few twigs, I guess, at this point, from that DPD branch itself. So, and then Jolam is, I'm not sure what I'm doing with that yet. At this point, it's the Jolam Project, the Knowledge Project, and the Foundation Project. So you'll find out I have a thing for threes, a thing for threesomes, I guess. I don't know, but basically the Jolam Project. All three of those projects are going to be different writings. That's all going to be different writings. I plan to have that released under my moniker, I guess, JP Weidenware versus under ADP. Just to avoid any confusion there, trying to keep my creative project separate from my, I guess, intellectual project. Not to sound pretentious or any of that bullshit. But that's what I have planned for that. And each of those projects, well, they'll each serve its own purpose, I guess. And actually, ironically, I was just talking about ADP again there, which really these are the only three things I have to talk about at this point. But and which will continue serving as my main topic points. I just don't have a lot to talk about right now with these three talking points. Is actually with my illustrated novels, I plan to tie in a little bit with the Jolam Project, the Knowledge Project, and the Foundation Project. Like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but I do know that those are going to be tied in somehow or some way or another there. So that's a little bit of an overview. Let's see. Yeah, so that's... Oh, the actual post title was 24, which you'll also see I have an obsession with the number 24 and 2012, which might sound really, really strange and stupid at this point, but basically, the number 24 is going to be forever engraved into my life for numerous reasons, but excuse me, that was the age really which all of this kind of started. The main reason behind that was I was scared to death of turning 25, at especially with where I was at in my life. I really do believe I had a quarter life crisis there, just because I didn't have a home, I'm not married, don't have a family yet, all that bullshit that you're supposed to. It's kind of expected, I guess, at this point in society, maybe by my age, I don't know, but I'm not even close to any of that at this point. And I was like scared shitless of turning 25. I was like, wow, what have I even done in my life at this point? Like, if I'm gone tomorrow, like, well, what do I even have to leave behind? So that really got me thinking, like, oh my God, like this could be a real possibility. Like, I'll leave this earth and have absolutely nothing to show for it that I was even here. So that was kind of the main driving force for me to kind of get my ass in gear as far as like a lot of these ideas I had to actually get them out in the open to start working on them. Stop making excuses just to be a hobby guitarist and just sketching from these books in my office and all that. And actually start making something out of it. Start putting out into the public, for the public eye to see and to maybe appreciate someday. Because otherwise, it's cool, I guess, if you're just going to be a hobbyist like that. But I don't know. I feel like I could offer a lot more than what I was. So that's the main reason why 24 is such a big part of my life. Like I said, because really the last quarter of 2012 is when I did everything as far as what I'm working on today. As far as excuse me, ADP, DPD, and Jolam, they were all like all my websites, everything I started really in the month of November is when like everything kind of kicked into gear. I mean, I guess I've had these ideas for a while. It was just like, oh my God, it's I'm gonna like, like I said, I'm gonna be 25 here in a few months. My birthday's in March, so that at the end of the year, I was like really, really trying to get my ass into gear for New Year's. Partly for I guess New Year's resolutions too. I don't know. Even though I don't really make them anymore, that was like, wow, this whole year I didn't really do anything. I better to have a year in review. There'd be maybe one sentence worth of material to write down right now. So that's why 24 and the year 2012 will always be. I think you'll always be able to find them in my works some way or another. For example, the 8 trilogies. That's it's the name of the 3 EPs I'm going to be releasing. I mean, 8 times, 8 tracks with 3 EPs. You got 24 right there. Plus, at this point, I'll get in a little bit with an illustrated novel. That's the next topic I have right here. That's going to be, that's, what the hell was I talking about? I was looking to see if I can have a fucking pause button here so I can get a drink of water here. I'm actually getting over both the flu and the cold, so I'm feeling like I just ran over. Yeah, I just went through the plague. I think is kind of how I feel a little bit right now. But anyway, that's 24. Let me cross that off. So let's get into an illustrated novel a little bit. Basically, what I plan to do with those and the number 24. Yes, that's where I was tying those in. Yeah, shit. Yes. With the I'm going to have 8 categories, and I won't get into those right now. I have those available on both covers of the EPs I have. I don't have I just have the abbreviations of what the categories actually stand for on those. But I plan to I actually have right now the next 24 years, I guess, of my life creatively, somewhat with an outline planned out a little bit. Just because I don't want to be one of those guys that basically almost becomes a cover band of themselves. They become popular with their singles, perhaps. They have a couple other hits besides that, and that's all they're ever become known for. 20 years down the road, people don't want to hear their new music. They want to hear their old stuff, what they became successful or popular for, or whatever the case may be there. But I guess for me for the next 24 years, I plan to release an album every 3 years, and I don't plan to really ever replay too much of my old material, just because there's going to be a story entwined with concepts throughout all of these, basically to the point where I'll play maybe several songs from older albums, but I plan to play each like album in its entirety once I get to the full album releases. I was really inspired by, I saw one of the best concerts I will ever go to, probably out near Pittsburgh, Greensburg, I believe, right outside of Pittsburgh. It was a really beautiful theater. Right there's a college which was right in town there. And it was Mastodon, Between the Buried and Me, Baroness, Valiant Thor. I think that was it. But anyway, that was one of the best concerts I will ever go to. And I was in love with Mastodon at the time. And they played Crack the Sky. It was a Crack the Sky tour, I guess is what the main tour was for this tour package. And I was like, wow, I've never seen a band do that before. I don't think they didn't even play it in order. That didn't even matter to me. It was just a fact that they played an album that I had fallen in love with and played constantly, probably every day, for a few months actually. Sitting at work or whatever, listening through, and I was like, holy shit! Like I've never seen a band actually play. It was like 50 minutes. The album was, I don't forget, it was like 50 minutes long or something. And I was really impressed by that. I felt like they were playing what they wanted to play rather than only focusing on maybe what their fans wanted them to hear. So that really left a mark into engraved as far as what I would like to achieve creatively someday. So that's what I would like to do with the illustrated novels ideas. To touch a little bit further on that, I guess, at this moment. Let's see. Do I have anything about that on here? Yeah, alright, that was my first post here. On, other than the Hello World, what the hell is that? Oh, that's okay, I never actually fucking deleted that one, okay. Alright. I promise to be a little bit more prepared for the next sessions here. It doesn't help the fact that I'm sick. This is I'm trying to get over my like I said, my sickness, my plague here. Yes, okay. I'm actually just rereading the post I wrote back on December 12th. Okay. Yes. Basically, the main concept is going to be following. It's very original, I know, but the main character will be also called JP. Which, honestly, that I didn't actually. Nobody really even knows me by JP. I decided my name is Jeff. Maybe I should have announced that earlier. If I didn't, I don't know. I apologize. But my middle name is Philip, after my father. So I'm very grateful for that. But I've never utilized my nickname JP. Nobody ever. Maybe because I never really told anybody what the hell my middle name was. Just because I don't know. That wasn't a big thing in my school, I guess. Plus, nobody even knew how to pronounce my last name, Weidenware. So I don't think anybody. Maybe I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised they didn't ask for an easier way to spell my name. Which actually, from like 6th grade on, my nickname was Wagon Wheel. I'll save that story for another day, maybe a rainy day someday. But yes, nobody ever called me JP, so I was like, you know what? That's my last name is long enough. With Weidenware, like holy shit. So I was like, even if I can shorten it by a few characters, that I think people would appreciate that. Plus, I was starting to read J.R. Tolkien, and with George R.R. Martin, I just watched a few South Park episodes with him featured. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of prestigious authors, not to categorize myself with those two famous authors already. Not to be too selfish at this point already, but I don't know, it seems like it fit well, so that's why I stuck with it. I wanted I guess like more professional image for myself versus having people on my Facebook and just whatever, any old high school friends, any of that stuff. Trying to, like I said, just break away from whatever reputation I had as Jeff and start a new one with JP Weidenware. Not that there's too many Weidenwares out there that people couldn't figure out who the hell I was anyway after that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I just thought it sounded fucking cool. I don't even know where I was going. Okay. Yes, that's where I was going with that. Jesus. I apologize. I was going with that because that's also the name of my character in these future novels I plan to release, which are all going to be concept albums as well. I'm not going to get into many details at this point with the overall story, but I was just configuring the other day again. Excuse me. And basically, for each release, every 3 years, I'm going to have an illustrated novel, technically three full albums, which are going to be, I guess I can get into that right now. That's going to be by Mr. White, Mr. Gray, and Mr. Black. They're going to be kind of the alter egos. Ah, shit. I don't want to say, I don't even know what. Forget I said that. It's going to be by Mr. White, Mr. Gray, Mr. Black. We'll just leave it at that. So it's I got this idea from going, from being at the liquor store the other day, looking for wines for a gift for my mother. So thanks for this idea, Mother. They had, it was for sweetness. They had like a little ticker mark, I guess, as far as like how sweet these different wines were and stuff. I was like, wow, that's right on the box, right on the boxes. Not on the box, right on the damn, right on the wine bottles. I was like, you know what, that would be kind of cool if I could translate that into these EPs and future albums, as far as having like a little ticker right on the album, as right from light to heavy, like with the white albums being all the way to the left, gray being maybe in the middle, and black being all the way to the extreme right there. For the heavies balls type music I'm looking to release as well. So that's I guess I don't know if that's copyrighted already, if any other bands or artists have done that, but I thought that was a pretty cool idea, so I'm running with it. I already have it on this next cover, so whatever. Okay. But yes, back to excuse me, go off tangent a little bit again here. JP is the main character of all these kind of cohesive stories that I'm going to be intertwining with one another as far as these concepts are concerned. He's going to be a student, and I'm going to follow him. I'm not sure I'm going to do this yet, but I'm making up, basically he's going to be studying abroad over in Germany. My last name is Weidenwehr, very German. It's pronounced Weidenwehr in Germany. Like I'm starting to really learn about Germany. So I would love to have that as an excuse for me to actually go to Germany someday. Like, wow, okay. My character's based, he's now studying abroad at this university. So that's, maybe I should also go to Germany and learn what the hell this country, a little bit more of this country is about. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. So, what the hell is the talk? I'm off another tangent a little bit again here. Yes. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that at this point as far as following him through his college career, what have you there. But I do know every 3 years, I'm going to be releasing three of these albums, by Mr. White, Mr. Gray, Mr. Black, an illustrated novel. Like, it's going to be proper. I don't know. It's not going to be a comic book. I don't want to call it a comic book just because I can't draw fast enough to be able to do, like, with all these full panels and stuff. I guess I can get a little bit of details as far as what these illustrated novels are going to be. At this point, I'm figuring on the idea of having, like, the packaging is like where I'm trying to like envision this from a marketing standpoint already. Like, how bad is that? But I think it's given me a pretty cool idea as far as how I'm going to be going about actually with the format of these of these novels. Of what the hell is the other thing I'm going to be doing? Got the novels, DVD. Yes. Okay. Oh, geez. Wow. The illustrated novel. I'm going to be doing a full novel as well. That's the other part. The first thing I'm going to be doing is the thing I forgot. Okay. Whatever. But anyway, the JP novels. are going to be written by JP while he's like going to this college, as just on his like, for him doing like extracurricular activities. He's going to be in some club or some bullshit, and not bullshit. I shouldn't have said that. But he's going to be doing something to where he's going to be like an aspiring author, musician. It's like I said, it's going to be kind of unoriginal. I'm going to basically base everything that I'm going to be doing at that point, and when I'm writing these stories, and translate that into this character, which I don't know. That I feel like I said, I feel like I'm that important that hopefully other people will think I'm that important to have an actual illustrated novel and all these other items based off of my actual life. Just some twists here and there. So that's what I plan to do. I plan to have these JP novels every 3 years. These illustrated novels every 3 years. Oh, Jesus. I got to off on another tangent here again. Back to the packaging. What I plan to do is, I was looking through, looking through the Arctic Monkeys, I guess, their booklet. I thought it was pretty cool. And I got the idea. I was like, you know what? This would be pretty cool if I would have an actual... take advantage of this size, of these sizes here. Because I should point out, I'm going to be doing an illustrated novel. I'm going to be doing 3 of those as well. They're going to basically be the companions, the bedtime companions with the albums every 3 years, because they're going to be most closely tied to the albums. But what I plan to do is, instead of like having like the basic liner notes with these albums, I'm going to be having these stories, which will be the main driving force to explain Mr. White, Mr. Gray, Mr. Black. But I can't draw well enough and fast enough at this point to do like full. I don't even know what size comic books are, but like I said, to do like full panels, on a regular basis. So what I'm gonna be doing is drawing. Is writing the story on the left side of the pages, and then on the right side of the pages there, I'm gonna be doing these little illustrations here. So I thought that was a cool idea. I don't know how long these are gonna be at this point. They're gonna be like short stories, I guess, kind of intertwined somehow. I don't know how I'm gonna be doing that yet, but there's gonna be a lot of these, because I'm gonna, like I said, it's gonna be 24 of each of these here. So 24 of those of the albums and the illustrated novels, and then just 8 of the JP novels, which those are going to be full-length novels. I'm not sure how long those are going to be yet, but they're going to be full-length novels nonetheless. And I already have most of those kind of laid out with an overall outline as far as we're going to be looking to go with those creatively. With the stories. So that's... Wow, okay. I just broke my little stylus pen. Jesus. So apparently, okay. This is pissing me off. Alright, fuck it. I'll get another one. It was like $10 for the little actual tip that you need. I'm drawing on my little notepad here. I can't even think of what the hell they're called. Not an iPad, but it's a Google Nexus 7 here. But the little grip thing just fucking broke off. Whatever. I guess I'll figure out how to put that back in later. Okay. So that's that. That's that with the JP novels, illustrated novels are. Okay. I'm not even going to get into 15 Minutes of Fame. I don't even remember at all writing that post. Apparently it was at 12 after, almost quarter after 11 last Friday. Wow. That's... I'm not even sure what to make of that right now. I'm going to leave it up, though, just so people can see. Very strange, though. I'm not sure what I was doing there. I guess I should point out length. I've been watching. I've been listening to one of my favorite, podcasts that I've really ever listened to is it's called Chewing It with Kevin and Steve, from the Broken Lizard Club, and I guess they try to stick at around an hour. So I'm gonna steal their idea, which probably isn't even their idea. No offense to them, but that seems like a. They did make note of the attention span being around 45 minutes, which seems about right. So you know what? I think I'm actually gonna go about 48 minutes, just because I like the number 24, and 24 times 2 is, well, there you go. Plus, I don't know how often I'm going to be able to have guests, and I don't have a partner at this point as far as any girlfriend or anything to. Not that I would have a girlfriend on the podcast there, but yeah, I don't want to be rambling on for an hour just by myself about the same shit I've been posting throughout the week without having any fun guests or interviews. Especially when nobody knows who I am right now. But I suppose for the last, like I said, let me, yes. Okay. Pretty well covered the 15, it was called 15 Minutes of Fame, that last, the post that I will not get into right now. Well, screw it. Okay. I'll at least make note. I'll skip the first paragraph because I don't even know what that was. But so apparently I was coherent enough to type out a list of podcasts, I guess, and a couple of talk shows that I would love to be on someday. So I'll ramble those off right now, because reading them back sober, yes, that's about right. That's probably my list. Not particularly in order, I guess. Pretty well in order, I guess. I don't know. Not that there's any order to something like that, but here we go. This would be like my dream list at this point in my career to be able to go on someday. So here we go. It'd be Red Eye with Greg Cutfield, The Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, Conan O'Brien. I say the Joe Rogan Show. I don't know if that's the name. I don't believe that's the name. I believe it's the Joe Rogan Experience, so I don't know why I said the show. I was pretty drunk on Jameson, apparently, from reading this. And Smodcast with Kevin James. The Comic Geek Speak podcast, which actually, I believe a few of those members on the show are from Reading, which is not too far from Lebanon here, which... Ironically, I'll go for another tangent here. When I first moved to Lebanon, PA, about almost 2 years ago now. It'll be 2 years in April. I got so many. Somehow my email was like now attached to the city of Lebanon. I don't know what happened there, or how that happened. But I started getting all this junk mail from the country of Lebanon. You know, advertising these. I don't even know. It was these are it was definitely from Lebanon, the country, because I was able to look up a little bit of Lebanese and translate like what some of the shit was actually saying. I was trying to get me to basically go to these different cities and spend my American dollar there. I don't even know what that was about, but I found it extremely interesting. Because even different adverts I was having on like YouTube were like fucking Middle Eastern based advertisements trying to get me to spend money from some country I do not live in. Which, no offense to Lebanon, I've never been there. I might go there someday. I don't know, but from what I understand, it is extremely, extremely different from Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Extremely different. We're pretty much your small town USA, Lebanon, Pennsylvania. A lot of Amish, a lot of farming community in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Yes. what I was, yes, and not in closing yet, because I'm at 40 minutes and 7 seconds right now, and I'm going to 48 minutes. But the Paul Bunyan case theory, I was pretty proud of that post today at lunch. I might piss off some family and friends, maybe. I don't know. I don't even really give a shit at this point. I gotta stop saying at this point. But this is where these are my beliefs right now. I guess I would consider myself to be a pantheist, which that's another post for another rainy day, perhaps. But actually, that's in my list here for a couple weeks from now. But anyhow, I was raised Christian. I mean, I go to church every Sunday when I was a little boy, with my mother and usually my father and my brother. When my father wasn't working or was able to make it as a family, we would all go on Sundays to Sunday school, and I don't think we ever really went to the actual service often when I was growing up, but we always did go to Sunday school, my brother and I. So I was raised Christian. But the blunt end of this post here, it's called the Paul Bunyan case theory. I guess let me just read this off, word for word here from this post, just so we're clear and everything makes sense, because I honestly didn't even reread this when I typed it up. So it says, here we go. Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox are two characters with a rich tradition in American folklore. For those not familiar with the classic story, the short of it is this. Paul Bunyan is the giant lumberjack who is accompanied by his pal Babe, whom is a very large and very blue ox. It is said that they have created America's natural wonders due primarily to Paul and Babe just playing around. For example, the Grand Canyon was formed as Paul drug his axe on the ground, and the Great Lakes were formed as a watering hole large enough for Babe. I would like to have this backstory serve as my next point in this post, which now I'm reading it out loud, so it's not even post anymore. But anyway, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about there. Let's just pretend for a moment that there was no Bible, Quran, or any other religious text available to answer. I had that in quotation marks. I'm not really sure why I did that. Okay, interpret that how you will. To answer how, for the sake of this example, how America was formed, what if Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox or story was the only another quotation creation story, quotation marks, creation story was story ever made to explain the creation of America? If there was no other creation stories created, well, okay, with good reason, there would be a large number of people praying to Paul and Babe as their gods. For without them, what land would we have to live on? But for how long would people continue following this folk tale without questioning the truth if this was really how America came to be? Without questioning the truth, we are just as well off praying to Paul and Babe for their creation. Now, overall, there are a few things I would change about this after rereading it, which, wow, I need to start doing that. Well, that's a little screwed up. It says I posted it at 6:07 p.m., but I posted it over lunch at 12 o'clock. Anyhow, whatever. That's neither here nor there. I guess the main point of this post was a couple family members are questioning my beliefs. I guess in my life right now, they're a little concerned. I'm not sure why they are concerned. I think primarily just because my beliefs are no longer maybe what I was raised on. Not like more beliefs. I mean, I still I'm very grateful for the moral ethics that my parents and family instilled in me. I mean, that's never going to change. But as far as the beliefs, perhaps in the Bible, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of that is a little bit far-fetched after hearing some of the stories. So, I mean, really, this was the best analogy I could think of to explain maybe my skepticism to believing everything that the Bible or maybe any other religious text would have to say. If they're really, which, with the stories of Jesus that you hear, a lot of them are, they sound a little trippy. I mean, if you think logically about them, they don't make a lot of fucking sense. Some of what he was, some of what he is not quoted, but what he's attributed to as doing in his lifetime. I mean, honestly, not just Jesus, I'm not ripping on Jesus. I mean, if I believe he was real, I just don't believe he was particularly the Lord and Savior of mankind. And I don't want to get into too much of this because I would like to have guests in the future, and I don't want them to be like, wow, this guy's a fucking atheist and Satanist because he listens to metal or whatever. But that's just kind of where I stand right now. And to get on back a track a little bit with what I just started rambling again. I mean, honestly, if somebody was saying that they were able to walk on water and did some of these miracles that Jesus did, as far as with you hear about the fit with the fish and the bread, and I'm not too up on everything that he had done, obviously, but the main stories stick out, and they don't seem to make any sense at all in context of society today as far as what is actually possible. I mean, if I was having some acid trip and literally believed I was seeing images of God, in this flaming bush, I do not think anybody would believe me, and rightfully so, because that just sounds crazy as all hell, saying something like that. So I guess the point of this post was, would you believe if somebody wrote the Bible today without without the Bible ever being around, would you believe it, or would you just blow it off as nonsense because it reads off just like it's a giant myth? That's basically, I just want people to be able to question if it would make sense in context today. If it was just written and released today, would you still follow those beliefs? So that's gonna be about wrapping it up here. Jesus, I gotta stop rambling on because I feel like I didn't talk about a whole lot. So I'm closing in on 48 minutes. I did a pretty good job as far as looking at my little timer here. So